The Huskers heading into enemy territory.
This is probably a top 10 football team we're facing.
Looking to make themselves at home at Memorial Stadium, over 600 miles away in Bloomington, the site of today's Big Ten battle with the Hoosiers.
We love being an underdog.
Indiana off to an undefeated start, now facing a resurging Nebraska team.
They got good players. They're very well coached. They play really hard.
With the marquee matchup about to kick off.
You're watching the Husker Roadshow, game day on the go.
Well, welcome into our Husker Roadshow Game Day on the Go special, an hour-long special here in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson. Well, we got a great show for you ahead of this game. We got exclusive interviews, in-depth analysis, and more. And, of course, we're going to welcome in Jake Holman, Mackenzie Johnson, and Rusty Dawkins over this next hour. So a lot to be excited about, but let's talk about how we got here. A recap of the season, starting with game one, a win over UTEP 40-7. Welcome back to college football at Memorial Stadium. That saw true freshman Dylan Raiola throw for 238 yards and 2 touchdowns in his college football debut. Isaiah Nayor went for 121 yards and a touchdown. Away we went, and welcome to town, Colorado. The Huskers held the Buffaloes to just 10 points, their lowest mark all season. The Black Shirts handing Colorado 6 sacks on the night. Dante Dowdell rushing for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns to win the game, and that was Colorado. And welcome to the top 25, Nebraska, who returned to the AP polls for the first time since 2016. Their first opponent, Northern Iowa. The Huskers dominated that game 34-3. The defense stout. Raiola 247 through the air and a tutty, and the Huskers had 10 players catch the ball in that game. Talk about sharing the wealth. And to 3-0, number 22, we go. Illinois and Nebraska, their 4th game of the season, 31-24 overtime game that was back and forth. Raiola finished with 297 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamal Banks finished with 94 receiving yards, but the Illini walked away with the road win. So next up, a road test. The second Big Ten team Nebraska played. The Huskers defense came up big against Purdue, only allowing 10 points. And the Husker offense woke up in the second half as well. Nebraska left Indiana with a 28-10 win. And 2 weeks ago, it was win number 2 of the Big Ten, a gritty defensive battle led by James Williams, who went for 5 tackles and 2 sacks. Isaac Gifford led the team in tackles with 8. And the Huskers did just enough to hold on to a 14-7 win. So now, after a much-needed bye week, the Huskers prepare for an undefeated Indiana team, 6-0 for only the second time in school history. Nebraska just 1 win away from being bowl eligible for the first time since 2016. Fox Big Noon kickoff is here. The stage is being set. The Huskers trying to snap a 25-game losing streak to rank opponents in front of a sold-out crowd here in Bloomington. The last time these two teams played, Huskers won 35-28 in 2022, and Indiana and Nebraska now just under an hour away. And man, what a day, and much more ahead. We'll hope to stick around with us for the next hour, and a big shout out to all of our sponsors for making this trip possible. So now let's head back to Lincoln and catch up with Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson. Mackenzie, how are we doing out there? What are the fans talking about, and are we getting excited or what?
That's right. Thank you so much, Nate. Glad to have you guys all here with us this morning for our pregame show. I'm out here at Barry's Rooftop Bar. Things are starting to pick up a little bit, and I'm here with a Husker fan. His name is Ben. Ben, how long have you been a Husker fan?
I'm almost 60, so I would say probably since I was about 12 or 13.
Wow, that's
so quite a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, I know we have a big game coming up today. What are some things you want to see from the team?
I want to see some toughness on the defense. I think the defensive line is just straight up legit. I don't think Indiana has faced a defense like ours. And I'd just like to see them kind of dominate the game.
And I know that, Ben, you've got a score prediction for us. Tell me, what do you think? How do you think this game's going to go? 27-21, Nebraska, lead pipe lock of the week. I think Indiana's getting a lot of hype these days, and I think Nebraska's going to kind of come in and show that they're here to stay, and they're going to play tough today. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ben, and stick with us. We've got a great pregame show for you this morning. For now, though, I'll send it back to you, Nate. Go Big Red.
GBR. See ya.
All right, well, thank you so much, Mackenzie. thanks for all your hard work. We really appreciate you as always. And hey, one thing that's very important when it comes to game time is the weather. So who better to talk to than Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins with a quick update on our game day forecast.
Hi there, everyone. Here's your Husker cast as Nebraska goes to Indiana, which Bloomington, Indiana. Never been there myself, but I hear it's a nice place. Memorial Stadium, so just kind of like us. But I think this is going to be one of the top 10 weather days. It's not going to be too hot, not too cold. Kind of depends, though. If you're a fan, then it's probably going to be just right. If you're a player, probably a little too warm. I think you might want it a little bit cooler. But we're starting off around 59 degrees at kickoff. Now, keep in mind, 11 a.m. This is for Central Daylight Time. The game is played in Eastern Daylight Time, so this would be noon. But 11 a.m. mostly sunny skies, light southeast wind, maybe southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So kind of variable there. 59 degrees to start at kickoff. Then by halftime, we warm up fairly quickly. Now, I don't think we'll get much warmer than this with 67 degrees, that very light southeast wind at 5 to maybe 10 miles per hour, perhaps 15 miles per hour every now and then. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. And then as the game progresses, we are going to see those temperatures, I think, top out right around 70 degrees, which isn't too far from normal this time of year. That southeast wind around 5, 10, again, maybe 15 miles per hour. I think we'll see plenty of sunshine, not a whole lot of wind to deal with, and temperatures pretty close to 70 degrees for the afternoon high. So once again, this is going to be a pretty nice game, especially if you're a fan. It is going to be very comfortable. So enjoy the game. Go Big Red.
All right, thanks so much, Rusty. Well, hey, don't go anywhere. We got plenty more coming your way. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
Why should Nebraskans believe anything Deb Fisher says about Dan Osborne when Fisher's made a career out of breaking her promises, like her promise on term limits?
I do believe in term limits at the federal level.
And I would term limit myself.
The special interests who've made Deb a millionaire will say anything to keep her in office. This November, don't get catfished. Vote no on Deb Fisher's lies.
Retired Career Politicians PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Planning a new accessory building project? Get on the list now for 2025 with MWR Building and Fence. MWR specializes in steel and post-frame buildings. Your investment is built to last. Get a quote at MWRbuildingandfence.com.
We don't need another Democrat in D.C. That's why President Trump is calling out Dan Osborne's lies.
His name is Dan Osborne, and he's a radical left person, a Bernie Sanders type Democrat. But we want somebody that's going to be strong, powerful, and great for our country, and it's not going to be Dan Osborne.
Dan Osborne is just another Democrat in disguise.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today.
Get everything for your Big Red life at Best of Big Red. Discover the best selection of Adidas sideline apparel, jerseys, ladies' fashions, and kids' apparel. Visit our 2 Lincoln locations or online at bestofbigred.com.
The best for your Big Red life.
Deceptive Dan Osborne dresses up like an independent. But who's really behind Osborne? He's a far-left liberal, backed by a huge Democrat dark money group, and funded by far-left Hollywood. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal immigrants. Even said he loves socialist Bernie Sanders. Deceptive Dan Osborne dresses up independent, backed by the far left. Can't be trusted. The ESA Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Well, hello and welcome back to our Husker Roadshow Game Day on the Go, hour-long special ahead of this huge Big Ten matchup with Indiana, and it's time to bring in our own Jake Homan. Jake, you know, both these stadiums have the same name, Memorial Stadium. I think we know which one is maybe a little better and pretty cool, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, Nate, I mean, you're right. I would have to say our Memorial here in Lincoln is the top dog. But fun fact, there's actually over a dozen college football stadiums named Memorial. Of course, one here in Lincoln, another in Bloomington. But what's the history behind these two?
Memorial Stadium, the place in Lincoln that Husker fans know and love. But it's not the only one in the nation. Meet another Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, home of the Indiana Hoosiers, built in 1925 and remodeled in 1960, and seats well over 50,000. But it's no match for for the place in Lincoln. Memorial Stadium was built here in 1923, just over 100 years ago, and since then there have been several expansions and additions, making this place seat over 80,000 fans in the stadium. It's actually the 5th largest in the Big Ten Conference.
Nebraska, to some degree, is built similar to Ohio State's stadium, except that Ohio State was the horseshoe and Nebraska didn't do it that way.
Mike Babcock with Hurrdat Sports has been covering the Huskers for nearly 50 years and says a big part of the significance this place holds is due to the success brought by Tom Osborne, Bob Devaney, and more importantly, the passionate fans.
I think it's what's in the stadium that helps define it, but there have been significant changes to the stadium.
Although Mark Deal, a former Indiana Hoosier that has played in both stadiums and played under Lee Corso, says Bloomington's got some history of its own. Parts of Memorial Stadium actually is built with limestone, the same material used in the Pentagon and the Empire State Building.
It's all cut out. It's all limestone, and that's neat. I mean, it's where this is. It's beautiful white limestone here. So I think that's the part of the unique charm of the actual stadium part, because most of the time our stadium was so small, Indiana would play a lot of road games. Nobody would come to Indiana. So my dad played against Nebraska 4 times, and only once did he play in Bloomington.
And just like Mark said, these two schools have only met 4 times in Bloomington over the past 70 years. The Hoosiers' last home win over the Huskers, 1945. And now, we're just less than an hour away from finding out what this Memorial Stadium can bring today.
And fun fact, today's game at Indiana, it's the first home sellout crowd there since 2021. For now, though, Nate, I'll go ahead and toss it back to you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jake. Hey, great stat there, great work on Memorial Stadiums. Really makes you appreciate Husker Nation. Well, let's keep things rocking with our own lifestyle reporter, Christina Dant, and who caught up with a former Husker.
Thanks, Nate. I am here today with Marco Ortiz at Memorial Stadium. We are so excited to be we're going to play around. You're a long snapper.
Yeah.
You've got the football. Before we get going, we've got a lot of wind today. But I want to know a little bit about you. What made you choose Nebraska when you had 1 year left of eligibility?
Yeah, so when I was in the transfer portal, I was looking for some things. Really, the main thing was a school that was going to help me get to the next level. And Nebraska has all the things that were going to help me get there. I mean, one thing is the weather. You can see with this wind, I was not used to playing in this. And this was going to be in the NFL. Great coaching staff, great city, great fan base. Everything you'd want in a school that's going to help you get to the next level. This is what is here. So
tell everyone out there who doesn't know, where did you come from?
So I played at the University of Florida. So I was there for 5 years, and then I came here for my last year.
And definitely different weather.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have played here. You have moved on to bigger and better things. What are you doing now?
So I'll be playing in the UFL this spring. I'll be playing for the Houston Roughnecks, so I'm very excited for that. And I also have a twin brother who plays in that league, so we'll be playing against each other, so I'm really looking forward to it.
I was just going to say, I bet your mom's going to have a lot of fun watching her boys play against each other.
Yeah, I think she's trying to get like a split jersey, and either way, it's just an awesome opportunity to keep playing and then hopefully get to the next level from there.
Well, I love it. We were super grateful to have you here, and you had mentioned you're going to throw me some snaps.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do it.
See if I can catch a ball. See if we can.
Maybe we'll see you try one.
Take me down, probably. All right, let's get into it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so I want to snap some to you, if that's all right.
I am down for the challenge.
All right, first we'll do punt, but
Okay.
do you have any idea how long a punt snap is? If the ball is right here, where's the punter going to be?
Oh, okay. I'm thinking you're punting it off. Well, I would think 15.
Yeah, 15 yards. That's right.
All right.
So can you go stand on the X, and I'll throw one back to you.
Okay. Didn't understand your job until this year.
Yeah,
It's fascinating. Now it's like what we.
It's a lot harder than people think.
For real.
Yeah, especially with the wind, like it's blowing this way. I got to aim a little bit more that way so the wind carries it. But
yeah, and the gusts keep coming, like, so you can't control that.
And when it gets windy, the ball gets slick. Like, it's a lot harder.
And your hands are cold?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I can do a softer one first.
So I'm not catching it, but I'm just catching it.
You can just catch it.
Okay.
But you can punt it too if you want. But.
I'm scared. Jeez, Luke. My hand's on fire. Oh my. Okay.
Good?
Jeez.
I'm barely snapping it.
I just learned the impact of how hard you snap that ball. And then he told me, oh, that was like nothing.
Yeah, it's like half speed.
That's crazy. My hand is going to just fall off.
I see videos of snappers. I think people have like gotten like a speedometer or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's like 35 miles per hour, like on average, like most snappers. You don't realize how fast it is.
Didn't break a nail. So we're doing good so far. Okay, tell me more about field goal.
Yeah, so that was punt, but field goal is a lot more like in depth with like details. The thing that most people don't understand is that the snapper's job, they're responsible for getting the laces up. So like they have to snap it at the same speed with the same revolutions every time to where the holder can catch it with the laces up and just put it down. But like the holder's job, they're just responsible for correcting the mistake of the snapper. So like if the laces are off, they're the ones who catch it and spin it. But a lot of people blame the holder on the laces when, yes, they have to spin it, but it's really the snappers. They're the ones who are responsible for getting the laces on top.
Well, you see it a lot, and you do think, oh, that guy, he did them dirty. What's the movie? Like Laces Up? Is that?
Yeah, it's like Ace Ventura.
Something like that. I just remember like Laces Up, Laces Up. I think that'd be, and they're catching it at that speed that you just.
It's a little softer, but because you're only like 8 yards, we can try it if you want.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Laces out.
Marco, thanks for having us out today. We've had a blast, even with the wind. I appreciate all of your time, and I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Yeah, of course. That was awesome getting able to talk to you and talk about my staffing journey. So thank you, Christina.
Thanks. All right, Nate, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Christina. Well, hey, don't go anywhere. We got plenty more action coming your way. We'll see you back here in just a bit.
Live in Lincoln. Pink Live 2024. The most spectacular show for one night only. Pinnacle Bank Arena, October 20th, with special guests The Script and Kid Cut Up. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Pink Live in 2024.
It's amazing how quickly life can change. But through it all, your Renewal by Andersen windows remain the same. Renewal by Andersen Windows, built for life. Save $350 on windows and $500 on patio doors with free installation, plus no interest and no payments for 12 months.
With the latest looks arriving monthly, there's always something new to love at Furniture Row, like the Krisha Sleeper Sectional. Boasting luxurious comfort, several layouts, and 2 colors, the Krisha elevates any home with stylish practicality. Or dine on the Traverse City with a weathered chestnut finish and book-matched pattern. This rustic contemporary set is great for gatherings of any size. And for your bedroom, the Levita features a cool natural look with simulated live edge cuts and a casual contemporary appeal. Find these fresh new looks and more now at Furniture Row.
I remembered.
Be prepared, be ready.
Everyone needs a photo ID to vote.
Come prepared with a photo ID, like a driver's license or state ID.
You can learn more, including how to get an ID if you don't already have one, at voterid.nebraska.gov.
Don't forget this.
It's Nebraska's new law. You need a photo ID to vote. So when it's time to vote, let's bring it, Nebraska. Here's mine.
Well, welcome back into our Husker pregame show in Bloomington, Indiana, where the weather right now absolutely fantastic outside of Memorial Stadium. Well, hey, I got a chance to catch up with the Hurrdat's digital sports director, Anna Bellinghaus, ahead of today's game. Women in sports continue to forge ahead at a fantastic pace.
First ever full-time assistant coach in the NHL.
And one of those women leading the way in Nebraska?
I'm Anna Bellinghausen. I'm the digital director at Hurrdat Sports.
More than what she's done in just the Cornhusker state, Anna has done freelance work for CBS Sports, ESPN Plus, and FS1.
We started Hurrdat Sports back in June of 2022, so right after I graduated college, hopped on to the Hurrdat train and helped them start that Hurrdat Sports branch, which has grown tremendously since.
So naturally, we got to talking about some Husker football and the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, a 5-1 start, you couldn't ask for too much better, obviously, with, one loss on that record. But I think Husker fans have to be pretty pleased with the product they've seen. And obviously, there's still room for improvement. But when you got to think back, you have a true freshman as your quarterback, and then you're in year 2 of Matt Rule. So I think Nebraska fans have gotten what they've hoped for. And last year, you saw the close losses, and you saw the hope that there was for Husker football and, the potential. And now we're seeing that come to fruition with a great quarterback and an even better defense and an improved offensive line. So I think you have to be pleased if you're a Husker fan looking at the product on the field.
With a big game looming against Indiana, the Huskers look to become bowl eligible for the first time since 2016 and snap a 25-game losing streak to ranked teams. This game, one that is sure to have some fireworks.
I think this last stretch will show Nebraska fans everything they need to know about their team, right? Indiana will by far be the best opponent they face. It's a top 10 offense, it's a top 10 defense, and people can say what they want about Indiana too, that they maybe haven't faced too tough of opponents yet, but I think it'll be a prove it to me game, I think, for both squads, and I think that'll tell the Big Ten a lot about both of these teams. And yeah, I think Nebraska can turn some heads for sure if they win that game, especially with it being on Big Noon, and then you get another Big Noon game against Ohio State. I mean, couldn't ask for 2 better stages, but both on the road, it's going to be very tough.
And a big thank you to Anna for spending some time with us talking about the Husker football game. Well, our next guest knows a thing or two about keeping athletes and players healthy. Our lifestyle reporter, Christina Dan, caught up with Nebraska's dietitian nutritionist, Jake Blattner.
Thanks, Nate. So I am here with Jake. He is the dietitian sports nutritionalist for basketball. Fill us in.
Yeah, I'm the like Christina said, the men's basketball and track and field dietitian here at the University of Nebraska. We're at our Oasis, the fueling station for our, I guess you want to say our men's basketball team, our women's basketball team. And I think we got some wrestling, swim and dive, a few other gymnastics people running around this facility right here. But this is kind of the main hub in this side of the building for quick grab and go stuff for our athletes.
It's been a blast. I think we've been here for 10 minutes, and even just seeing athletes come and go, I feel like this is where all the excitement happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is when we talk sports nutrition in the NCAA, I mean, University of Nebraska kind of sets the standard. Like when they say there's no place like Nebraska, it's true. Like the resources we have here are incredible.
All right, so walk me through a day in the life of a Nebraska athlete.
Yeah, definitely. So like our men's basketball team, Coach Hoiberg, we like to do morning practices. So usually about 8 a.m. we're hitting the court. So our dudes like Braxton right there, probably getting breakfast around 7:30 in the morning. Running through here, grabbing something quick, easy for those guys to digest so they're able to hit the basketball court. Kurt, our strength conditioning coach, usually takes them first in the morning, so we'll usually do a quick rollout with those guys and just get them ready, get them stretched out, you know, get your muscles all activated, ready for the day. We'll do a quick lift. We might do some performance testing. So we actually have like some force plates. It's basically like sensors that are built into the floor. So we can look at, fatigue with our athletes, and we can kind of judge like, hey, how's our training doing? So we'll monitor I guess you want to say that jump data. And then also, like, if you look in the back of their jerseys, you'll notice like little GPS pucks. Yeah, so we can kind of track the load during practices, so we know like, hey, how much work we did on the court, so we can kind of gear our nutrition off that. So once we're done with our lift, we're done with our court work. Everyone has an individualized, I just want to say, recovery smoothie or shake that fits their goals, fits their profiles. When they first come in, they have all this blood work done, so we can look at if there's any nutritional deficiencies, and we kind of sneak that stuff into their recovery aspect after that workout. And then after we give them a quick recovery shake, they might be hitting academics, hitting the training table, getting some recovery tubs, sitting in the hot tubs, the cold tubs of our athletic training staff. Come back here for a little dinner and call it a day.
Okay, so you said blood work. Is that daily?
No, that's just like, no.
Like instantly I could feel my arms like cringe for them. Okay, not daily.
Yeah, not
blood
daily.
Work, right?
No, we do collect a lot of data with our athletes, but that's usually like beginning or end of the year, just looking at, hey, the vitamin D status, the iron status, where are we sitting? Is there anything that we're missing or we need to work on with that athlete? I guess we have some really fancy stuff too with, like, say, our sweat analysis. So we work with Gatorade, our Sports Science Institute, to kind of individualize the hydration status for our athletes too, so we can actually like collect sweat and look at what that sweat's made out of. So
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
track my worthless day of being dehydrated.
Right. So it's awesome. I'm fortunate here at the University of Nebraska. I think in the NCAA setting, with the amount of dietitians we have and the resources that we have, we're able to individualize it for those guys. So, every ounce of fluid or sweat that goes out of them, I know how to replace it exactly with, the right kind of electrolyte, or how much fluid do we need to make sure they're ready for that next game, basically.
Well, and I think when we were talking before the interview, we kind of joked about the amount of food that, like, we were like, could you just put it in front of me? Like, I'm sure it would be just a mind-blowing amount of food that they need to consume to stay
definitely
alive.
Yes, these dudes are burning, like I said, that we're burning calories left and right. Like, Joe, a player we had last year, he's sitting there eating plates of steak, plates of, bread. And everyone's individualized too. That's part of my job. It's like when we go on the road to make sure we have that food, and then making sure we have the right flavor profiles and stuff like that too, so everyone gets what they like.
All right, I'm looking at this menu that I'm sure you guys are gonna see a screen of, and it's pretty much everything in the world that I love. It's not what you would think of as cafeteria food. I mean, there's pumpkin toast. I'm blind as a bat here. Avocado toast. I mean, how could you not eat here? Like, do you have students that are like, I'd rather go to Chipotle?
We have state-of-the-art training facilities. I mean, it's 3 meals a day. I think we're the only university that, is taking care of that. Our athletes like that, feeding the 3 meals a day. And it's like a 5-course, 5-star dining experience every time. Everything from crab cakes to steak, you name it. Those athletes are taken care of.
And then poof, they graduate and they have to fend for themselves. Jake, thank you for having me here today. It has been such a great time.
It's been great to have you guys.
On that note, I'm gonna grab a smoothie. Back to you, Nate.
All right, thank you so much, Christina and Jake. And a big thanks to Christina for helping us out all week. Well, you're not going to want to miss this next segment. When we come back, we talk to the futures of the Huskers of Nebraska. Don't go anywhere. We got more from Lincoln Youth Football next.
What's up at DQ? 2 sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets, all white meat chicken in your choice of wing famous flavors like honey barbecue or new Parmesan garlic. Hurry in, wing joint flavor is at DQ. DQ, happy tastes good.
As a rancher, I know BS when I see it. And the truth about Dan Osborne and Kamala Harris stinks. Osborne and Kamala want to give our Social Security benefits to illegal immigrants. Whose side are Kamala and the Democrats on? I've worked hard and played by the rules, but Dan Osborne and Kamala would reward the people breaking them. Dan Osborne, just a crook in a Carhartt.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message.
As a busy mom and a radio DJ, the last thing I want to do is wake up at 4 a.m. fumbling for contacts or glasses. When I'm behind the mic, my focus needs to be on my audience and not my vision. Go to Sutton Linder. The LASIK changed my life. The staff was great. They answered all of my questions. They made me feel very comfortable. I'm really glad I trusted Dr. Argo with my eyes. I can see far, I can see close. I don't need glasses for anything. My only regret is I didn't have LASIK sooner.
Schedule your free LASIK consultation at suttonlinder.com.
Planning a new accessory building project? Get on the list now for 2025 with MWR Building and Fence. MWR specializes in steel and post-frame buildings. Your investment is built to last. Get a quote at MWRbuildingandfence.com.
Heartland of Nebraska Windows is proud to offer the lowest prices for high-quality windows. You can buy more expensive windows from a bigger company, but can't buy windows from a better company than Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Call today for your free estimate.
What's up at DQ? 2 sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets, all white meat chicken in your choice of wing famous flavors like honey barbecue or new Parmesan garlic. Hurry in! Wing joint flavor is at DQ. DQ, happy tastes good.
Well, welcome back to Bloomington, Indiana. Well, for the next few minutes, we check in with some of the best experts around Lincoln, the stars of tomorrow, and what a joy it was to get to know a few of Lincoln Youth football's best and brightest. Every football player's dream has its beginning.
What's your dream school?
My dream school, Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nebraska.
I want to go to Nebraska University.
I want to go to UNL.
I want to go to the University of Nebraska.
I want to play for, I want to get offers from Georgia, Alabama, Nebraska, and if I do get all those 3, I'm going to Nebraska to play quarterback.
I'm going to first go to Northwest High School, then I'm going to Nebraska, and then I'm going to the Bears.
Nebraska.
I'll play for Nebraska.
I'll probably play for LSU and Nebraska.
But before they can be high school and college stars playing under the bright lights, the journey to the big stage starts on a smaller one.
Yeah, we offer football for boys and girls from the age of 7 to 14 during the tackle season. During the summer, we have a 7-on-7 league where we offer kids from 7 to 15. We actually have the freshmen come out.
We have 7 former players currently on the Husker roster. 5 of them are starting, so it's a lot of fun. It's great to see the work and time that us volunteers put into these kids, you know, not only to make them good athletes, but to make them good humans as they get older.
Lincoln Youth Football has been serving the community for years and years, built on strong foundations.
What we do in Lincoln Youth Football is we are a developmental program, so we really focus not in being all-stars. We have some folks that want to win, and everybody wants to win, but it's the development of the game. We're trying to make sure that they have the building blocks to be just good people. And that doesn't matter whether it's a young man or a young woman. We want to build that building block to where they have the backing to be next level.
And we're learning the basics, but as the weeks go on, we get better and better and better and improve just a little bit every single week. And we just hope that kind of like every single week we just get a little bit better and keep improving and based on the fundamentals.
The youth get the chance to start their own football journeys, chasing after the heroes that inspire them. And an opportunity is born that goes beyond the gridiron.
Not only does it mean a lot for the fans to watch their kids, but it means a lot for the kids to watch their parents up close and personal. So these are the building blocks to that type of emotional trade, those bank accounts emotionally that the kids are able to put into their parents and the parents able to put. And we get a lot of grandparents especially as well. So it means a lot to those emotional bank accounts, to what we're doing for the kids and what we're doing for the community. The thousands of people that run through here every Sunday is just amazing.
From the fields in Lincoln to the ones in Indiana, the Huskers stare down another ranked opponent. So it was only right to get some thoughts ahead of the big game.
We get big game against Indiana coming up.
Yeah.
Everyone take the mic and give me your predictions and what you're looking forward to this Saturday.
Okay. The Indiana safeties are buttons.
My prediction, we're going to win 13-23.
Okay.
And Dylan Raiola is going to show off. I mean, my prediction, definitely we're going to win because, we're pretty good this year.
I think it's going to be a good game. I hope we win, make a good tackle, some sacks, and just win this game.
I honestly think that they'll get a first down, and then they'll be all hyped, and then we'll catch an interception and get a touchdown. I think that the prediction of scores is going to be 21, because I think that Nebraska's going to win because Nebraska's just better, and Nebraska's just built like that.
Okay.
Your turn.
Nebraska's going to win all the way. My prediction score, 17-28 Nebraska, because we're just the better team, and we have more athletic guys, and we got Dylan Raiola.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say about Nebraska. I don't know the score about anything. But all I know is that Dylan Raiola is the best Q, and I feel like he's going to throw dimes. The score is going to be beyond the charts. So that's my predictions about the game.
My predictions about the game is that it's going to be 72-30 Huskers winning because we're just built like that, and we got Dylan Raiola.
My predictions is 17-37 Nebraska. I think Matt Rule is going to carry the team with Dylan Raiola, and we'll make some pretty good catches.
It's going to be really hard. The line needs to block. And
Raiola needs to. Dylan's got to throw some good balls.
Dylan got to throw the exact same, like when he throws flies. It needs to be right under his hands, into his hands. Touchdown every single play. And go Huskers.
Hoping for a Nebraska win while striving for their own goal, one touchdown at a time.
Everybody.
Neiman on me! Neiman on 3! 1, 2, 3, Neiman!
And a big thank you to Lincoln Youth Football for having me out there. It was an absolute blast. And some great predictions, might I add. Well, hey, when we come back, we bring back Jake Holman to the mix, dive into some chalk talk ahead of today's game. We'll be right back.
It's the home makeover sale at Furniture Row, so the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Save on living, dining, and bedroom. Or get 60 months, no interest. The home makeover sale on now at Furniture Row.
We don't need another Democrat in D.C. That's why President Trump is calling out Dan Osborne's lies.
His name is Dan Osborne, and he's a radical left person, a Bernie Sanders type Democrat, but we want somebody that's going to be strong, powerful, and great for our country, and it's not going to be Dan Osborne.
Dan Osborne is just another Democrat in disguise.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today.
So what do you think about these?
We like this.
Yeah, we love that.
When it's time for an update or complete remodel, Rebath is with you every step of the way.
We're going to take everything down to the
From design and products to removal and installation, we handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs.
Honey, you were right. Turned out amazing.
Of course it did.
Rebath, with you every step of the way. Call or visit our showroom for your free design consultation.
The real difference between Deb Fisher and independent Dan Osborne. Fisher's bought and paid for by special interests and corporations. Osborne's not.
Deb Fisher's had 12 years to do something about the border. She voted against the border bill that was drafted by Republicans because she takes money from Big Ag.
Securing the border, it takes a working man to get the job done. That's Dan Osborne.
Retired career politicians PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
33. That's how many 16-hour Sunday shifts I picked up my last year at the factory. It's what I had to do to provide for my family, but that meant not seeing them. I know my story's not unique, but it's not one that's reflected in Washington. It shouldn't be this hard. All across Nebraska, people aren't getting a fair shake. Nebraska families deserve lower costs, higher wages, a safe border, and streets. I'm Dan Osborne, independent, running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Don't put up with rotten sleep during the incredible value sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or get 60 months, no interest, and free shipping. Kick that rotten sleep to the curb, only at Denver Mattress.
Well, welcome back. Hey, let's get right into it and bring Jake Homan back in with us from our Lincoln studios. Jake, big day for the Huskers, but maybe the biggest day for QB Dylan Raiola, who's going to need to play solid today.
Yeah, he sure will. This will be Dylan's second career start on the road. That first start, of course, coming a few weeks ago against Purdue, where the freshman totaled over 250 yards and a touchdown on their 28-10 win over the Boilermakers. But this matchup in Bloomington will be a bit different. The Hoosiers run mostly zone defense, which Raiola actually excels at. So it'll be interesting to see how the freshman performs today. But Dylan knows this is a much bigger test for the team as well. Nebraska is the underdog today, and according to Vegas, it's the first time this season for the Huskers. But Raiola, well, he sees that as a challenge.
Yeah, I don't think we could be more excited. We love being an underdog, and that's how a lot of people persuade Nebraska as an underdog, and that's fine. We like it that way, and going into their stadium and their place, and it'll be a fun environment, and look forward to put up our best fight and go win the game.
And taking a look at the quarterback comparison, the rookie versus the veteran, and Raiola, the true freshman so far this year, nearly 1,500 passing yards through 6 weeks, along with 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The man under center for the Hoosiers, though, is 6th-year Curtis Rourke, with over 40 career starts under his belt. The transfer from Ohio, though, is up to 1,700 passing yards, 14 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions on the season. This senior, though, leads the nation in passer rating among quarterbacks with at least 100 pass attempts on the season.
Yeah, Jake, and another big matchup maybe not thought of right away is these two head coaches. Indiana's Curt Cignetti, 6-0 in year 1. Matt Rule, 5-1 in year 2. So here's what Rule had to say in the latest press conference ahead of the matchup with Indiana.
And I think the biggest thing, they have a lot of weapons around them, right? They have a really good O-line. They have an excellent tight end. They have 2 great backs. They've got about 5 receivers who can make plays. And but I think they just have a good system. Like they know who they are and they know what they do. The team that plays the best wins. It's not the team with the best roster. It's not the team with the best record. It's not the team who won last week. It's not the team that has the better music in the locker room. Just the team that plays better wins. So have a good week of preparation. Just be in the moment, one snap at a time. Don't worry about the scoreboard, and go play.
And let's take a look at the tail of the tape here. The 2 defenses will be key for both teams. The Huskers rank 7th, the Hoosiers 11th. Pretty close stat-wise. We'll see which one shows up today, but Nebraska needs their 77th ranked offense to have a day today. Indiana 4th in that stat, but they have not played a defense like this one.
Yeah, a quick look at the matchup between the men on the sidelines. Of course, this is Matt Rule's 3rd Division I program through 18 career games, though here in Lincoln, he is 10-8 with a career record of 6 games over 500. As for Indiana's head coach Curt Cignetti, well, this is his first year with the Hoosiers, a clean 6-0 and 1 year removed from an 11-1 season last year with James Madison.
Now, it's no secret that the Huskers are 1 win away from being bowl eligible for the first time since 2016. That year, losing in a hard-fought battle to Tennessee, 38-24 in the Music City Bowl. Back when Josh Dobbs wore the orange and white, well, he went off for 409 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. Riker Fife dropped in 243 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Huskers. And, Jake, they may not be facing college Josh Dobbs today, but a skilled quarterback nonetheless, as we have mentioned.
Yeah, I'm sure Husker fans are glad Dobbs is not out there on the field today, right? But Indiana's Curtis Rourke leads the country in passer rating. As I mentioned, he's a 6th-year senior, but playing his 43rd career game today. So the veteran certainly has some experience under his belt. And coming up, though, we will talk some more with Husker fans ahead of this Big Ten clash in Bloomington. Stay with us right here on Channel 8.
I'm an attorney specializing in adoption law. I can tell you when laws are vague, they can be abused. Initiative 439 creates a right to abortion for both men and women, allowing men to force horrific decisions on pregnant women in crisis. And Initiative 439 would force taxpayers to fund all abortions. Initiative 439 does not defend our freedoms as women. It actually puts us at risk. Vote no on Initiative 439.
It's amazing how quickly life can change. But through it all, your Renewal by Andersen windows remain the same. Renewal by Andersen Windows, built for life. Save $350 on windows and $500 on patio doors with free installation, plus no interest and no payments for 12 months.
Get everything for your Big Red life at Best of Big Red. Discover the best selection of Adidas sideline apparel, jerseys, ladies' fashions, and kids' apparel. Visit our 2 Lincoln locations or online at bestofbigred.com.
The best for your Big Red life.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's open border policies have allowed millions of illegal immigrants into our country. Suspects on the terrorist watch list. And deadly fentanyl, the leading killer of our young people. It's a national security catastrophe.
Conservative fighter Pete Ricketts.
That's why I'm fighting for my plan to build a wall, reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, and strengthen our Border Patrol. No excuses. It's time to secure the border. I'm Pete Ricketts, and I approve this message.
Planning a new accessory building project? Get on the list now for 2025 with MWR Building and Fence. MWR specializes in steel and post-frame buildings. Your investment is built to last. Get a quote at MWRbuildingandfence.com.
All right, well, welcome back to this Husker pregame show. And Jake, you got the chance to do a little tailgate talking at our last game, correct?
Yeah, Nate, there's nothing like these Husker fans. I mean, they are just the best. But, of course, we wanted to hear from the true fans at Husker tailgates to hear their thoughts about this big matchup headed today.
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
Woo!
Husker fans have been waiting a long time.
How long have you guys been Husker fans?
Since the day I remember,
Okay.
Nebraska stands at 5-1 in this season before they enter a 2-game road trip at Indiana and at Ohio State, just 1 win away from being eligible for a bowl game. And the fans feel good about this team's chances.
Controlling the time of possession, that's going to be important in those games. They're going to have northern crowds because they're going to be good on both schools, Indiana and Ohio State. So if they can block that out, control the possession, they got a good chance.
Tom Carmen works for Omaha Steaks and has been serving at every single tailgate for 3 years now and says the atmosphere is a bit different this year.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of people here. The tailgate's growing a little bit. We get some partners for the tailgates too. Brings more people in, exposes our brand Omaha Steaks a little bit more, and just some good attention and just great atmosphere down here. Indiana, I think we have a pretty good chance against. The defense is getting better every week. You know, the offense is connecting a lot more. I think we might have a chance to scare Ohio State too. I'm hoping. It should be late enough in the season. Everything should be gelling really good, and they should be able to hopefully pull off an upset.
And the Huskers still in the middle of year 2 for head coach Matt Rule. They say they've got belief.
Matt Rule, I know he's building something here, and I like it. I'm drinking the Roulade, that's for sure. And, I like what he's doing here for Nebraska.
Improvement we've had year over year has got to be Matt Rule. As a coach, a motivator, this team's so cohesive. Where in the past, I didn't feel that. And I feel like every game we absolutely have a chance.
We've shown in the past, we've been this close, and I think these new units have a chance to get us over that edge.
Hey, go Big Red, just like those fans were saying. I wonder, though, how many Husker fans will be at today's game. But, Nate, that is going to do it from right here in Lincoln, so enjoy the game and go Big Red. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. Go Big Red. But real quick, before you go, are you drinking the Roulade? What is your score prediction ahead of today's game?
I actually just came up with one before the show started. I'm going to go Huskers 24, Indiana 21. So certainly we'll see if I can get that right. Guess I'll have to wait.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I was thinking 23-17 Huskers. That's my prediction. But, hey, time will tell. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Jake, thank you so much for all your hard work to get this show ready to go. And, hey, when we come back, we got more coming your way. Next up, we'll hear from a few folks that know Husker football better than most. Stick with us.
Deceptive Dan Osborne dresses up like an independent. But who's really behind Osborne? He's a far-left liberal, backed by a huge Democrat dark money group, and funded by far-left Hollywood. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal immigrants. Even said he loves socialist Bernie Sanders. Deceptive Dan Osborne dresses up independent, backed by the far left. Can't be trusted. The ESA Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Another Democrat in D.C. That's why President Trump is calling out Dan Osborne's lies.
His name is Dan Osborne, and he's a radical left person, a Bernie Sanders type Democrat. But we want somebody that's going to be strong, powerful, and great for our country, and it's not going to be Dan Osborne.
Dan Osborne is just another Democrat in disguise.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today.
I remembered.
Be prepared, be ready.
Everyone needs a photo ID to vote.
Come prepared with a photo ID, like a driver's license or state ID. You can learn more, including how to get an ID if you don't already have one, at voterid.nebraska.gov.
Don't forget this.
It's Nebraska's new law. You need a photo ID to vote. So when it's time to vote, let's bring it, Nebraska. Here's mine.
Pink, live in Lincoln. Pink, live 2024. The most spectacular show for one night only. Pinnacle Bank Arena, October 20th, with special guests The Script and Kid Cut Up. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Pink, live in 2024.
All right, well, welcome back. Our next guest is killing it right now. He's got his own show. He's on 93.7 The Ticket, and his Husker knowledge, it's in an elite tier. A big thank you to Adam Carricker for joining us.
So with the Huskers so far this year, halfway into the season, you can see there was two main areas we needed to improve on from last year. Number one was turnovers, taking care of the ball. All right, we were the second worst turnover margin team in the country. Now we're +6, number one in the Big Ten. Okay, actually tied with Indiana, the team we're going to play this Saturday, for number one in the Big Ten as far as least amount of giveaways so far this year. Offensively, can we play 4 full quarters? Can we make adjustments throughout the game? And then special teams wise, can we just clean up the simple little mistakes? And it seems simple, but it's certainly not little, because they become big time in a big time close game, which is what I anticipate versus Indiana. So I've been around a lot of different fan bases, from NFL, obviously high school, to college. There are some fan bases that stand out to me. The reason, and it's not just because I'm a homer, that the Husker Nation truly is, in my opinion, the best fan base in all of college football, maybe any sports team that there is, because of what you said. Every game since 1962, 400 plus sellouts. It doesn't matter if we haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. It doesn't matter if we're undefeated. It doesn't matter if we're playing the number one team in the country, or if we're playing Timbuktu U. Like, it's gonna be sold out. Husker fans are gonna show up.
And Husker fans certainly are showing up. I've already seen a bunch of them out here in Bloomington. But hey, one man we have to hear from, who knows more about Husker football than anyone. Well, we had to hear what he had to say and his thoughts ahead of the matchup with Indiana. What does it say, and how do you kind of stay focused not only on the road but playing two ranked teams? How do you kind of keep that mentality going?
Well, I think you simply have to focus on the next game. You know, you can't play Ohio State this next week. You got to play Indiana. And Indiana has a very good offense, a very good quarterback, and there'll be a challenge.
And a huge thank you to both Coach Osborne and Adam Carricker for joining the show. Really appreciate having them both on. Well, hey, we are not quite done yet. We got one more segment for you guys. We hope you stay with us in this final section of the Husker Roadshow Game Day on the Go.
It's the home makeover sale at Furniture Row, where the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Plus, find unbeatable deals, like the Cascade sofa, only $4.99. Save big on the Gunsmoke panel bed, only $4.99. Get the 5-piece Central Park dining set for only $6.49. And save $100 on the Buena Vista, any size, any model. Or get more bang for your buck with 60 months, no interest. But don't miss out. The home makeover sale at Furniture Row ends Thursday the 24th.
If you're big, Deb Fisher is open for business.
If you're a big corporation,
big pharma,
big ag,
a billionaire,
she takes their big money and just does what they want.
But if you're a Nebraskan, Deb Fisher is closed for business.
No public town hall in years.
Got 10 times richer while in Washington.
Broke her pledge on term limits, the deficit. So yeah, this independent
and this Republican
are with Dan Osborne.
I'm Dan Osborne. I approve this message.
So what do you think about these? We like this.
Yeah, we love that.
When it's time for an update or complete remodel, Rebath is with you every step of the way.
We're going to take everything down to the
From design and products to removal and installation, we handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs.
Honey, you were right. Turned out amazing.
Of course it did.
Rebath, with you every step of the way. Call or visit our showroom for your free design consultation.
LASIK has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made. I love spending time with my kids. They love to be outside and they love to fish. I am a busy working dad, and being able to have my eyes feel good all day long allows me to be able to do what I need to do. My free LASIK consultation was wonderful. I felt so comfortable with Dr. Argo, and I knew I was in the right hands. LASIK has made my life so much better.
Schedule your free LASIK consultation at SuttonLinder.com.
All right, well, it's just about game time here in Bloomington, Indiana. The Huskers, the Hoosiers are going to duke it out. Both teams trying to prove it before we get into the real heart of the Big Ten season. Nebraska 5-1, Indiana 6-0. And I'll tell you what, like I said, this is a prove-it game for both teams. Both teams are going to need defenses to show up. Is Indiana's offense going to win, or is Nebraska's defense going to be there? We'll find out. Kickoff just about to get underway.